Hello, welcome everyone to today's Let's Talk Thoth Tech meeting. Today is 1st of September 2022, and we have a few topics in the agenda that I'm hopefully sharing right now. Yes. The first topic is about a metric that introspects why pods failed in the cluster. I'm not sure who added this one. I think Max, was it you? No?
No.
No? I mean, I was.
I think we already spoke about this, and I think this is in one of our DevSecOps recurrent.
Yeah.
Right.
Site.
Okay.
We just got to remove it from the last one.
Okay. Yes. Right. Sorry. Okay. Then we'll move to the next topic then, which is a topic I added. Is about revisiting the debate around an option to ignore local packages. There is an RFE for this, and the context behind it. We discussed this in the past. There is a link here to the previous time we talked about this, but basically in the context, the discussion came in the context of helping onboard the OS Climate demo repo to use Thoth services, and the challenge they had was that they have a big file with local packages, which in the discussion back then, it was claimed back then that it's a common pattern that is observed, and Thoth doesn't support this. Anyway, back then the conclusion was Thoth cannot support this, so we left it as is. So I wanted to bring a proposal for an alternative approach, leaving Thoth advice as is, so Thoth not supporting that use case, but potentially having KevaHead complement that gap with, handling the gap, let's say. Yesterday, I created a couple of RFEs for KevaHead. The first one is, KevaHead has multiple managers. One of them is the Thoth advice manager, and that manager would not support that configuration in the zip file. That's fine. But then we have the update manager, which, correct me if I'm wrong, by the way, but I believe that it uses pipenv for dependency resolution, right? The update manager. So the thing is that pipenv can handle this type of big file. However, at the moment, KevaHead is refusing to run update managers on if your pip file has, for example, this one. This is in one of our repos. We have a reference to Git, and it's refusing to do it. But if you just run pipenv locally, it works just fine. So part of the proposal is, can we have KevaHead update manager just do whatever pipenv does? Would that be acceptable? And just let me complete the picture, but because the idea would be then to use back to the AICOE demo repo in OS Climate. The idea would be to split their big pip file into different overlays and then configure different managers for different overlays. And this is where the second feature request comes in, basically about being able to use Thoth advice when available and fall back to update manager when it's not possible. So that's the proposal, and I wanted to see, what do you think? Makes sense? Doesn't make sense?
For the first part, I think Update Manager is already doing pipen. I don't know if we have already checked if this FVF update, which the repository which you showed, is it actually running a update manager or is it running the device manager? The issue might have been opened by the device manager instead of update manager.
I believe it's the update manager.
Yeah, right now the update manager does not allow for local installations.
It doesn't? Okay.
No. Yeah. Frito didn't want it to for the servers, and he didn't want Advanced Manager to allow for local installations.
Yeah. Yeah, there, I checked it until now, the pointer here, maybe, but yeah, the code is there to, in the update manager, to check if there is this reference and then generate those issues that we don't support this. Cool. Yeah, that's the proposal, the first part of the proposal. Do you think we could allow this? I wasn't here when this was discussed, so you mentioned Frito didn't want this for the same reasons.
Yeah, just that there's like no way to guarantee safety of local packages, and it's separate from the whole dependency management. You get it through update manager and stuff, so that there's no nothing you can say about local packages. I personally disagree because I think that it's a way of just installing things in the local repository. So it's the same as just having code in the repository, but
right. Yeah, this is the code, by the way, that's this message, and I think there was the code I checked was also part of here. But the pull request that added this actually, I mean, it seems to be a bug fix. It's a response to a key error version, not being able to find the version of the package because it's referenced to a specific blob. So that's kind of a different argument or a different thing.
yeah, maybe I'm misremembering, but we can change it so that it allows for local installations.
So you think it's a good idea, or?
I think it's a good idea personally. And then a separate feature for allowing per overlay configuration. I think both are good ideas.
Cool. Any other thoughts?
I feel if we are doing it, we should probably make it optional. We should have a flag somewhere in YAML saying allow local packages, something like that. Like normally pipen has these pre-release packages, something flags for that. Maybe we should have a flag for this, and only if users do that, we should allow this. The reason
for advisor or the update manager?
Just update manager. Staying with the first question. So the reason why I feel this way is our like if we are saying we are the team which provides advices, and we are saying we want to provide reliable information, then for this we have no knowledge, right? We are basically saying let's install things which is already present. It's just an workaround rather than something which we ingest in our knowledge base. So that's what I feel.
I would personally rather have like feature parity with pip-end for the update manager, and then have the advice manager be a little bit more what's the word? Opinionated, but
maybe can be a flag that maybe we can, have this feature parity enabled by default and have a flag like some sort of strict mode or something like that that blocks local packages or something like that. Well, maybe we can continue debating via the issue, but
So yeah, no, like to you guys on the first question. Second question you asked is to split the managers into overlays. Or the suggestion was?
that'd be adding an extra configuration detail for all of the managers that allows you to specify a list of overlays. And then if you don't specify it, it goes on all overlays. If you do specify it, then it will only do it for the names that you specify.
yeah, I had two options that came to mind. One would be, for consistency with the way Thoth handles runtime environments, where we explicitly list each overlay. One option would be to list each overlay in the manager's configuration, but sounds a bit redundant. So an alternative would be because, to be honest, the way I see this feature, it would be kind of some common configuration plus some overrides or like this specific overlay behaves differently or something like that. So that configuration could look different, have a default, and then some override section or something. But does the functionality sound reasonable?
It does.
Okay. Good. Thanks. So that's what I wanted to present. Anything else about this topic? Right, so the next one is the recurring topic about discussing the CMV custom notebook image functionality for Open Data Hub. Updates here. Christoph has added a few changes to the Meteor operator. Currently reviewing them. He added webhooks to validate. So basically continuing to refine the custom resource for custom notebook images in the Meteor operator. There was a change recently to move some of the fields to annotations instead of the spec, and that was one of the changes, and there's now a webhook to validate those annotations. And from my side, I'm trying to test this, and also because the pipeline, so Christoph is working on a basic pipeline that works well in Kubernetes, but the moment you add bring your own notebook import pipeline, that requires or relies on image streams, which are not available in vanilla Kubernetes. So I was trying to set up a local dev environment that has image streams, and I went back to Microshifts. I was hoping to do something similar to what we did for the Helm charts CI. And that's what I'm working on at home, because I hit a problem with my my laptop here. Systemd resolved is now interfering with DNS for the VMs where I'm running this. Anyway, so but that's.
So,
Sorry?
uh, so on the side of Bring Your Notebook, the Bring Your Notebook and the custom notebook are mutually exclusive, right? They can stay, they can run one without another.
I mean, I'm not sure I got you. Bring your own notebook and
The
custom notebook
CNBI.
in- Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good question, and that's something we should bring to the ODH themes. The way I see it is that CNBI is an evolution of Bring Your Own Notebook, and therefore it's not two separate features. It's like a next iteration of the same feature. And actually, what I worked on was to transform the Bring Your Own Notebook functionality as it was to the new CRD. This is working. I think I mentioned it last week. Bring Your Own Notebook. Yeah.
I understand about Bring Your Notebook into the CRDs. I understand that part. But where my confusion is, I don't think the CNBI is linked with the Bring Your Notebook. Uh, so first let's clear what's the why I feel these two are not same. Bring Your Notebook is on validation side, right? If a user says this is my image, please see if it can run in my Jupyter Hub. That's the part which Bring Your Notebook solves. It validates the image.
Mhm.
CNBI is somewhere like if a user says I want to build a notebook, these are my function features which I want to let me build one, and the system will build it because the system is already building it. It doesn't need to be validated, right? Because it's like that's the guarantee that it will work on Jupyter Hub. So if that's the guarantee, then these are two separate cases, right? I understand like we are fitting the Bring Your Notebook into the same operator so that the UI just sends out CRDs and things will work on side to side, but they are not same, correct?
Correct. Yeah, they are different pipelines, but the proposal we have is to use the same backend side, the method and also, yeah, we need to discuss this with the ODH
Got it.
team. But I think from the UX point of view, the ODH point of view, it would also make sense to have everything in more or less the same section. Like, I think right now, Bring Your Own Notebook, they called it notebook images in the settings, and I think the new CNBI also fits in there. Like from an ODH point of view, I don't think it would make sense to have a separate section.
Yeah, got it. No, that's like definitely makes sense to have everything in together. I think I understand the flow. I just thought you were suggesting that we first build the notebook and validate it. I was just thinking, why would we do that if we are building the notebook?
Yeah, one thing that is still a bit pending is this different pipelines and different pipeline tasks. That how can they be reused and different in different pipelines? For example, if we introduce Thought Advice, it's part of the workflow. It's not part of Bring Your Own Notebook. It doesn't make sense at the moment. But if we introduce it for new images, can we reuse it? There are multiple new cases for new images, but can we reuse Thought Advice for maintaining imported images or something like that? So should we have a pipeline to do Thought Advice, or should it be a task that we reuse in different pipelines? That sort of thing, it's a bit TBD.
Yeah.
And I haven't been taking notes. I'll do that in a second. That's my update on CNBI. Any other comments on this?
As of now, I also look into the deployment side and probably get some updates next week.
Good. Any other topic then? Last minutes? No? Okay, then thank you everyone and see you next week. Bye.